you can still use your passport or your birth certificate or your 3 bank accounts if you want, however many times. You can choose to pay £85 to a company to prove that you are who you are every time you need to. Or you can take the easy route, which is get digital ID.
So Keir Starmer claims digital ID is the easy route.
For those of you who are unaware, and I encourage you to look this up, the British government has this thing called nudging. They actually hire people, social engineers, whose entire purpose is to manipulate society, to manipulate the masses into doing what the government wants. In other words, like, their version of democracy is to choose between Labour or Tories, which are parties that are pretty similar in social politics. They may be a little different in economics, but socially they're kind of the same. It's just like Labour is more accelerationist, but the Tories also want to build back better, which is what the Democrats wanted to do, right? And so, like, the people have to choose to vote between these two similar parties, and then the party gets to manipulate the public, right, by nudging them. And how does nudging look like? Well, it's kind of like this, right? Like, digital ID is not really mandatory. Like, you don't have to have it. But it's almost essential now if you want to live in Britain. If you want to go online and actually go on Reddit or on Twitter and partake into the grown-up talk, you need to dox yourself. If you want to have a wank, you need to dox yourself. And more importantly, if you want to have a job, you need digital ID. And of course, this is just the start, right? Like, there's just no reason why in 1 year it's not going to be expanded for more things. And there's also, like, nothing that would stop the government from banning a person from having digital ID. Like, is there any law, is there any rule that says that 3 years from now, the government, for instance, which, let's say, would be facing a protest, you know, like a farmer protest, or, you know, people's way of life would decrease dramatically due to governmental policy, and so, like, they would go on the street. Like, what would stop the government from just flagging their IDs into red? And all of a sudden, you know, you can't get a job, you can't travel with public transport. And before you think like this is unheard of, they're doing it in China. And they also did the exact same system under socialist Romania. Like, when my parents were young, like, they didn't have digital ID, right? They didn't have, like, computers and social media and stuff. But they did have a party that was interested in the total control of people's lives. And so there were a lot of people that were dissenting. There were a lot of people that didn't agree with the Communist Party. And there weren't enough prisons for all of these people, right? Like, despite the fact that it's an authoritarian regime, you can't really arrest everyone for every single joke, for every single take. Like, you don't have enough prisons. And what usually happens is that the places in prisons are very important, and the party would arrest the ones that were political dissidents or the ones that were having too much to think, and so the streets were actually filled with criminals, right? It's like the prison itself is a finite space, and they would rather arrest the extremists, what they would call it, which were pretty much like capitalists or free thinkers or people that wanted to be independent, would rather arrest those than to arrest a mugger, someone that would try to break into another's house. And of course, the mainstream media wouldn't talk about them, right? Like, back then we didn't have social media, so like actual criminals, rapists, murderers, like those types of things almost never appeared into the newspapers, to the point where my grandma, I remember, like, she would sleep with her door open. It was summer heat, so like she would leave the actual door to the entry of her house open, because like the mainstream media didn't say anything about crime in socialist Romania. And once the communist regime fell and the television started pushing sensationalism, all of a sudden she would lock the door and barricade it. Like, she would even put a table in front. I'm not even kidding, right? Like, this is what the television does to people. Like, this is how it creates panic and fear into the public. But what I'm going with this is that the Communist Party, as I mentioned before, like, didn't have enough prisons to arrest everyone. And so what they did have was to force people to get a communist membership card. So like you had to join the Communist Party, and by doing so, they would give you the Communist membership card. And the Communist membership card was kind of sacred. Like if you lost it, it was almost like not having it, right? And if a Communist member, like a political activist, like someone above you, would confiscate the card from you, you could be out of a job. You could be unemployed, right? Or you could get in a position where you can't benefit from healthcare, where you can't benefit from welfare. And so, like, it was really important. And if you went to the workplace and started shit-talking the party, or you started shit-talking the dear leader, that's what they would happen. Like, they wouldn't put you in a prison, right? Like, if you're a nobody, what they would do is, like, they would confiscate your Communist membership card. And all of a sudden, you just can't interact with society anymore. And this is pretty much like what China does with their digital ID system. Like, there was a huge protest against the banks in China. It wasn't even against the government. It was against the banks. And the people that were going to go to the protest were flagged on social media because they claimed they are going to go. And all of a sudden, their digital ID got flagged to red as if they have COVID, which means they're not allowed to travel, which means that, oh, guess what? You know, we live in a net zero society. People don't have private cars. And so, like, the only way to travel is with train. And just so happens that public transport is unavailable. You can't go to protest. And take into account that they want to link the digital ID system to everything. Like, they want to link it to people's bank accounts. They want to link it to the healthcare service. They want to link it to social media. And so if you're a cheeky little shit on social media, it can affect your bank account. It can affect, like, all the social medias, right? Not just, like, you're a cheeky little shit on Twitter and you get banned on Twitter. No, like, you can get banned from Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all these other places. And just so you know, I honestly think that the British government is astroturfing this hard. Because if you guys remember during COVID, it started the same way, right? Like, it just, like, tried to nudge you to get the vaccine. And if you choose not to, like, it would make it really uncomfortable for you. Like, you have to test yourself every 24 hours, right? Like, the same shit. The easy route is the vaccine. That's what nudging looks like. But they're pushing this. And the current talking point that I see from a lot of right-wing creators is we need to ban pornography, right? And when they say that, they use the same buzzwords, they use the same takes, and they don't accept any other option. Like, if you say, okay, but, like, what about parental controls? Or what about, like, dumb phones? What about this? What about that? No. Why should a child watch porn? And that's it. They're arguing like a leftist. Like, they don't understand context. They don't understand this shit. And I remember during COVID, the United Kingdom actually paid content creators to push the Project Fear. That's what they called it. It's like, you can Google it. They literally called it Project Fear. And I honestly think that this is what they're doing now with the digital ID and with the Online Safety Act. Because, like, all these right-wingers, you know, like, ban pornography, they weren't talking about it 3 years ago. And more importantly, you know, like, where do you even find pornography? Like, I genuinely want to find pornography on Twitter. And I'm having a difficult time, right? Because it's a lot more hidden than it used to be in 2020. And even more hidden than it used to be in 2016. Like, I remember in 2016, if you went on Google and you typed Mercy from Overwatch, the first 2 pages of her would be naked. And now you go on Google and it's got, like, not safe for work filters. It's like, you're not going to find that unless you're looking for it specifically, right? And apparently, like, no, that's not enough. Like, now it's actually worse, at least from what they're saying. Now it's actually worse than it ever was. And so we need digital ID in order to keep our children safe. And so, like, I don't know, like, is it worth it, though? Like, for little Billy, who's 16, okay, like, so he doesn't get to see a titty, but he gets to live in an authoritarian fascist state for the rest of his life? And if his life is shit, he can't protest? And he has to have a digital ID? Is that better? And you're telling me, like Christians are the ones pushing? I don't think so. I find it difficult to believe. I think people that are paid are pushing for this, or people that just want to belong. People that lack critical thinking, people that just want the approval of their tribe, rather than realize what they are doing. Like this is absolutely horrible. I hope that this project fails. And if it doesn't, well, I guess we're going to go into a period of Chinification. Look at China, look at what they're doing. And then when you travel to the United Kingdom, realize that you're not traveling to a free and democratic society, you're traveling to China. And take the appropriate measures, right? Last time I checked, it's like 40 people per day were arrested in the UK for shit they posted online. Just so you can understand, like Keir Starmer wanted access to Apple's cloud. Like that means if you're an American and you have like a picture of your credit card or your medical information or like anything private on the Apple cloud, Keir Starmer wanted to see it. You're guilty until proven innocent. What if you have some anime there, which is illegal in Britain, right? And so J.D. Vance came up and he basically told Keir Starmer to go fuck himself. And he actually did, but then he's asking Apple again, okay, like fine, we can't get it for the whole world. Can you get it for the British people? I mean, seriously, like if Britain was actually a totalitarian state, and I'm not talking like totalitarian in the sense of you're not allowed to choose your leaders. I'm talking totalitarian in the sense of like the government literally is involved in every single aspect of your life, including the way you think. Like the government is concerned about literally everything that you do, everything that you think. There's no escaping it. If the British government was like that, how would it differ to what it's trying to become? Like how many steps would it need to get to that place? Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.